I had gone to the doctor prior to working with you, and they told me I was fine. Then I'd found a functional doctor, and she ran like food intolerances on me. And so I cut food out and I felt a little better, but that didn't solve the problem. And she's like, "Oh, all your numbers are fine. You're fine, but we can put you on Ozempic." And I was like, "No." And I never went back. I was like, "I'm not just jumping on that bandwagon." We started working on the hormones and the thyroid, and I started to feel better, but I still wasn't 100%. I still felt tired. I still felt stressed. I didn't have the motivation to do anything. And so in August, I looked at him and I said, "I need to work with Susan. Something has to change." I said, "I can't keep living like this." And so thankfully, we had some extra resources and we're able to sign on and work with you. And it's just changed everything.
Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable podcast. We're your hosts, Susan Robbins, certified epigenetic human performance coach,
and Kate King, licensed psychotherapist, board-certified art therapist, and award-winning author. Together, we bring two perspectives, two styles, and one shared passion for epigenetics.
On this podcast, we delve into topics such as environment, nutrition, fitness, mindset, social dynamics, and trauma as they pertain to epigenetic expression in a way that's relatable to everyone.
We recognize that everyone's needs are unique. There are no one-size-fits-all solutions for your mind, body, and heart. The true magic lies within you.
So if you're ready to create a radiant life through epigenetics and reclaim your authentic self, then buckle up. Here we go. Welcome to the Everyday Epigenetics, raw, real, relatable podcast. We are your hosts. I'm epigenetic human performance coach Susan Robbins, and my lovely co-host is
Kate King, licensed psychotherapist, board-certified art therapist, and award-winning author.
This is the place where we talk about everything lifestyle and environment and how it affects our genetic expression. How many times have I said this? Anyway, today we have a treat. We have one of my clients and her husband on to discuss, I'd say her journey, but it's also his journey. And when you listen to these amazing people, you will see how much a part they are of each other's journeys and how much he has supported her. And I think one of the things we're going to focus on is not just her journey, but how, when you have that support system, when you're going through something that's truly life transforming, what a difference it makes to have that person there supporting you. Because when you're on this journey of making lifestyle changes that can seem daunting at times, when we're so used to doing these habits that we've created for so long, when you have it, it can be very isolating. So when you have someone there by your side that's there to hold your hand and let you know, "I've got you," what a difference that can make. But our guests here today are Nichole Fessant. She's an inspirational country recording artist and homeschool ninja. And her hubby is BJ Fessant. He is a special educator with a major crush on his wife. And if you end up watching this instead of just listening, you will absolutely see it. I guarantee you, you're going to feel the love, feel the vibe coming from these amazing people. When it was funny when we came to the end of Nichole's official coaching program, we still do some a la carte sessions, but she said, "Oh, I can't be done. Like, you're family now." It's just, you just get to know people on such a level. And I just adore these two. And we are so happy to have you guys join us. They said together they've chosen to take back their health and encourage others along the way. So thank you for coming on. And we're excited to have you share your story today.
You're welcome.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
So, Nichole, if you would start and tell us you and I started working together last August.
Mhm.
So where'd the time go? Where were you? Talk about where you were with your life, with your health, your
Mm.
mindset almost a year ago.
I was tired and stressed and didn't care. My give a care was broken. I guess we could put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had just moved into an old farmhouse that was his parents, and I could have cared less whether I unpacked boxes, whether I painted the rooms, anything. I was just so tired all the time.
So no motivation,
No
basically, either.
motivation.
Just fatigue and no motivation.
Mhm.
And BJ, how was she to be around? Were you noticing in this in her?
Oh, absolutely. She couldn't get through the day without taking a nap. And I could come home from work and the dishes might not be done yet, or maybe that I had to finish up homeschooling with the kids, little things like that that normally she was always on top of. It always would have gotten done. And you could just see the little things come apart in the daily routine and things just weren't getting done. It wasn't anything major. It was just all those little things, and
Mhm.
ultimately, I may not even have picked up on it if she just wasn't willing to say, "I shouldn't feel this way. Something's not right." And that was
Yeah.
that hunch that she had that I shouldn't feel this way, and it was obvious when I stopped and I really looked back at all those little things just adding up. So it was a slow change. It was progressive. It wasn't like an overnight thing.
How long have you two been together now?
12 years.
12 years? And you've
Yeah.
got 2 kids, right? And
Mhm.
how old are they?
10 and 7, and we have a 25-year-old too. Or is he
Yes.
26 now?
25.
Okay.
I'll do the math.
Okay. So you get this hunch, I'm just not right. And so often we just keep going through life because we're busy. You've got kids, you just moved, and you think it's just because there's so much going on and I'm
Mhm.
just tired.
Yeah.
That's not right. We shouldn't be that exhausted. So, what were your next steps in trying to find out why am I so fatigued?
I had gone to the doctor prior to working with you, and they told me I was fine. Then I'd found a functional doctor, and she ran like food intolerances on me. And so I cut food out and I felt a little better, but that didn't solve the problem. And she's, "Oh, all your numbers are fine. You're fine, but we can put you on Ozempic." And I was like, "No, and I never went back. I was like, I'm not just jumping on that bandwagon." And then I heard a podcast with Dr. Amy. So I started working with Dr. Amy, and all my hormones were wonky too, on top of just all the stress and all of the things. And so we started working on the hormones and the thyroid, and I started to feel better, but I still wasn't 100%. I still felt tired. I still felt stressed. I didn't have the motivation to do anything. And I'd met Susan through Dr. Amy, and I was trying to implement all of the things that she told me to implement and working on the space, but I still didn't have the motivation. And so in August, I looked at him and I said, "I need to work with Susan. Something has to change." I said, "I can't keep living like this." And so thankfully, we had some extra resources and we're able to sign on and work with you. And it's just changed everything.
Yeah, because you weren't able to lose weight at all.
No, I kept just
You were
gaining,
just stuck.
gaining, and gaining, and I was like, "What is going on here?" Because I didn't eat poorly. I hadn't eaten sugar in years. I wasn't like a huge carb eater per se, but I was doing a program where they're like, "You have to eat every 3 hours," not knowing that I was wrecking my metabolism even more because that wasn't what my body needed.
Yeah. So, what was your when you started when we started working together? BJ was in on I have to tell you guys, BJ was in on every single
Mhm,
session that we went through. And the support, you could like I said, you could just feel that love emanating from these 2. And just how he looked at her and whatever she needed, he's, "I got you."
mhm,
Um, And he, like, I joked around before, he would pop his head around and say, "No, she was doing that or she didn't do that." I was like her little conscience in the background there, but even when she and this is what I see with a lot of clients as you're going through this, self-confidence, not always great, and if we're not perfect, we're
Mhm.
doing something wrong.
Yeah.
And she would have these little wins along the way, and that's when he would pop his head in, and she'd say, "But I didn't do this," and he's like, "Yeah, she did that. She did that." He was like this all you were missing, BJ, was a pom-pom and a skirt.
That can be arranged.
I'm sure Annalise has some kind of pom pom in her bedroom. Yeah.
I'm not
I would have no doubt I would see you guys doing that. But he was there by her side every minute, just making sure that she knew she could do this too.
Mhm.
And I'm gonna have Kate speak to that in a little bit about that support and how that really can be just so effective. But I think we started you first on the PH360, wasn't it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
And you came up as what health type?
A diplomat.
Surprise. A diplomat that can't lose weight that's being told to eat all day long. This evening. So what what for you? What were like the biggest aha moments or kind of shock when you got your profile after we onboarded you in that
I think
onboarding session?
mainly that I don't necessarily need to eat breakfast because breakfast is the most important meal of the day. And sometimes I'm not hungry. And I'm like, why am I trying to make myself eat when I'm not hungry? And, or even not eating like a big, huge breakfast of like bacon and sausage and all that protein that everybody says you need all this protein. And I don't. Like, I can eat celery and be okay.
Was it a bit of a shock when you first got the profile? I warned you about it, I think.
Yeah, it was. And there's still some foods on there that I'm like, "Darn it, I can't eat that," because it was, like, my easy go-to, but not knowing that that was making my insulin resistance worse. And so, there's still some things that is hard. I'm like, "Man, I can't eat lunch meat. Wish I could eat that today. No, here's my fish." And eating a lot of fish, that's been different for me. I don't mind fish, but the amount of fish I've eaten over the last year, I'm like, "Okay." Like
Yeah. Now, it wasn't that you couldn't eat these things. They
Right.
were recommended as avoids or very low
Mhm,
down the priority list due to nutrient density because they were exacerbating your
mhm.
insulin resistance. And that was something that was really hard for you. That number didn't want to come down
No.
for a while
Mhm.
with the insulin resistance. BJ, how did you work with how did you do as far as watching her make these changes?
I was fine. We've been pretty open to changing our lifestyle the last few years, to cutting out sugar, trying to exercise, doing all those things that they say, "Hey, you should do." But it's real easy to get behind somebody when they're very passionate about it. And once came in the door, and she's practically dragging me by the hand to look at all these different health styles. She's like, "I just listened to this podcast." And just before she'd talk to you, but all these body styles and these health types, and here's what you are, and I think your mom's this, and I'm pretty sure cousin so and so is one of these. And she's figured out that our dog is a diplomat. She is on top of things.
He is the laziest dog you will ever meet.
But, because of that, because she's so excited, you you get wrapped up in it, and you wanna find out more information about it, and it just makes it that much easier to support her through those different changes. And then she comes up with the changes sometimes, and I question why, because that just sounds wrong. And it's wrong because that's not my health type, that's not what works for me. And when she started doing the little things like sleeping in a little bit more in the morning, and maybe she stays up a little later, and getting rid of the clutter around her and stuff, or working out in the afternoon, or all those little things that her health type said she needed to do, I started seeing those changes in her. And suddenly she didn't need that nap in the middle of the day, and her motivation came back a little bit. And when you see those changes and you see the smile on her face and that excitement, you can't help but put on the skirt and get out the pom poms.
Yeah.
Kate, do you want to?
Two things that I just want to reflect to both of you, just because today I am meeting you for the first time, although you've known Susan for so long. And I feel like I'm catching up. And so, a couple of really beautiful things that I think have contributed to your success are these. First of all, the willingness to change is it can't be overstated how important that is. And strangely, in our world, it just seems like such a resistant element for most people, where they get very attached to who they think they should be and how they think they should get there. And also, as you referenced, Nichole, there's all of these cultural undertones of what we're supposed to eat and how we're supposed to live. And I think the more personalized health progresses, the more we start to see that those cultural undertones and overtones are so overgeneralizing. They do not work for everyone. They sometimes don't work for most of the people. And so being willing to make alterations in your life to find your specific needs and your specific health requirements, I just don't know how anyone heals without it. I think it's really crucial. I don't think you can have any type of health improvement or growth or inspiration even on someone else's plan. And so I really commend the two of you for being willing to make the changes, even when it's letting go of something like a comfort food or an easy grab like lunch meat. And also, BJ, for you to be like, I might be a different health type, but I can see that what you're doing is helping you. And so, if it doesn't mean we both have to do it, but I can support you in doing what works for you while also maintaining my own rhythm with what works for me. And in the most beautiful sense, that's a Venn diagram of you do you, I'll do me, and together we'll take care of that aspect where we overlap and we'll support each other in what we each need, even if it's not what we both need. So that's the first piece that I see in the two of you that's really amazing. And the second thing is something BJ said at the beginning of this conversation of like really being able to witness Nichole from the outside rather than Nichole's perspective of living on the inside of your body and your experience. I don't feel right. This doesn't seem right. It's not a huge deal, but it doesn't feel as well as I could be. And then for BJ to be able to reflect that from the outside as well, because sometimes those little things like leaving the dishes in the sink or not getting through the homeschool day, they don't seem like that big of a deal, but together it creates a cumulative issue that can really indicate that there's a need for extra support. And so I think that inside outside approach and how you, Nichole, took the inside and you, BJ, met her with the outside reflections really helped the two of you see that there was an opportunity here and that your body was asking for something, Nichole, and it wasn't screaming, it was whispering, it was nudging, and you were both listening from your unique perspectives of being inside and outside and listening to that and leaning in with that curiosity and the willingness to change. And I think it's so beautiful. And you were really poster children for how to support another person while also supporting yourself as life has its inevitable twists and turns and surprises, because we have to be able to pivot. And if we could support each other in pivoting, all the better.
Oh, yeah. And he's been such an awesome support, letting me sleep in. Like, he'll go for his run at 5 a.m. and he'll come back and grab the dog and take the dog out to the bathroom, and then I'll get up at nighttime so I can have a little bit of downtime because I'm with the kids all day. He'll sit with our youngest until he goes to sleep. Little things like that. And that helps me to be a better mom during the day and a better woman,
Yeah.
for sure.
Have your kids noticed your temperament being better?
Yes. Now, it doesn't mean that we're in the throes of perimenopause here. So sometimes I'm like, I am so sorry. And then my 10-year-old, she's starting to get hormonal. So it's lovely. She and I had the conversation the other day. I said, I am so sorry. We're navigating these waters together. My hormones are just as crazy as yours right now.
It's such a cruel trick of nature. to have a perimenopausal mom with a puberty hormone ridden.
Yes.
I have
Oh my
something
gosh.
similar going on. I have a 12-year-old son, and he hit puberty a little on the early end. He's around 10, he started to fall into the puberty thing, and I am not quite in perimenopause yet, but I know it is coming for me soon. And I already am like, wow, how do we do this? What a tall order Mother Nature
Yes.
has given mothers. And also, if you're in a relationship, specifically with a man who's not going to be going through those kinds of ups
Mhm.
and downs, what a responsibility it is for to be the rock and hold that stability and that reflection from the perspective of the person who's not really riding the waves, but who's witnessing and perceiving these other people they love riding the waves.
God bless him. God bless
I
him. Yeah.
and it was from the very start, and I would get a text from Nichole, and she'd say, "Oh my god, just so you know, I have to tell you, I slept in today, and BJ took the dog out, and the kids were chill in the morning," and just what a difference.
Mhm.
And right then, the support, it wasn't like, hemming and hawing. It was the support was there from the get-go, which made that transition. Again, not without its ups and downs. So I want you to talk about, we're gonna talk about your triumphs, but talk about the parts of the journey that were difficult because you had to navigate through the holidays in the middle of the
Yeah.
coaching program.
I was done with the coaching program, but I did navigate through the holidays knowing that there was foods at the holidays that wouldn't benefit me. Like, I brought my own salad. I ate the ham or the turkey or whatever, but I wasn't eating the noodles and I wasn't eating the, like, broccoli cheddar casserole. I even made, like, my own green beans, which everybody in the house ate. There was none left, and his family is huge. It didn't mean I didn't eat a Christmas cookie. I did at Christmas. I ate a cookie, but even for our anniversary, our anniversary is December 29th, and the waiter's, "Do you want any dessert?" And we're like, "No, we're good, thanks." He goes, "Are you sure? I can send it home." We're like, "No, really, we don't need dessert." But little things like that, I think the hardest thing for me has been giving up coffee with cream, and I am not great at it. And if I do drink a cup of coffee, I want 12. So it's like having to because that became, like Susan knows, a vice for me. We lost our 16-year-old daughter in a car accident 8 years ago. And so coffee turned into my comfort food and it did not benefit my body. I think I still have some issues from it. But like I said, if I drink 1 cup, I want 12. It's just that I have to leave it alone altogether, which I haven't been lately because we've been like VBS and go, 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 and give me some coffee, please.
Yeah. Stress is a big one that plays on you.
Mhm. Yeah.
It's played on you with your immune system
Mhm.
coming off the holidays.
Mhm.
What was it? Was it pneumonia?
Gosh, I got pneumonia and bronchitis. I hadn't been sick like that since COVID 5 years before. Like, I never get sick, and this year has been wild. Like, I've gotten not every cold, but our 7-year-old, my gosh, he's been sicker than sick. I don't know what has been going around, but it's been a rough winter season. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
Do you feel like you've been coming out of it
Yes,
a little bit better
for
now
sure.
since?
My allergies have been weird this year too, but we're
So
navigating.
weight loss was a huge struggle for you.
Mhm.
Huge.
Yes,
How much did you lose so far?
30 pounds.
And girl, she would send me pictures and tell me, you were into jeans. I think with jeans that you
Mhm.
hadn't been in a while, but you just see her face, just the change and the glow in her skin. And you know what I noticed? The smile got bigger. It was just the smile in the eyes. Like, it wasn't fake. It was a smiling with the eyes. And i- it was just so evident every time I would see her and even pick up on the energy through emails or text messages because we stay in pretty close touch. But you can pick up on it. It's just such a different energy emanating from you.
I'd even text him pictures at work. This fits again. Like,
That's one of the biggest changes of all, that energy that goes with that, because I would dread going to church on Sunday mornings. I would dread going out or doing anything in public because getting dressed to be seen in
Ah,
public for a woman is hard. And when you try on 4 outfits and nothing fits the way you want it to fit, and you're unhappy with yourself, and as a guy, I pull the first shirt out of the drawer, I throw it on, I'm out the door, my hair's perfect, I look great, there's no stress there. But for a woman, it's a totally different battle, really, to get out of the house. And now when she goes in to get dressed for church, I sit and wait in the other room. 'Cause I'm waiting to hear, "Hey, honey, look. Hey, honey, look. Hey, check this out." Every time, because it's not just 30 pounds, it's an arbitrary number for everybody because our body types are so different, but the inches she's lost and the way things fit different, and just the joy that she gets now every time she gets dressed. It's not so much, "Do I look fat in this?" It's, "Hey, do these colors go together? Hey, should I wear the brown shoes?" Or that kinda stuff, and so there's so much less stress in the family. It's so much more peaceful when we go out, and she walks out the door with a smile on her face now instead of all that stress and dread because now we're late and something else didn't get done on the way out the door, and that just builds up throughout the day then, and it all came from just trying to get dressed to walk out of the house.
did you know he noticed all this or thought all this, Nicole? Or is this kinda new for you? Because you're looking at them, I'm looking at you like you're like,
No, I'll
"Wow."
answer for her. She didn't notice. She's got enough stress. I can't put that on her
I was
too.
in my own head, like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
"Ugh, I can't
and
believe
that's
this."
gotta be
Yeah.
hard. That's gotta be hard as a spouse seeing that because to you, she's beautiful no matter what,
Oh, and I would
but
tell her
to
that
see
every
how that
time.
taxes her. Yeah,
And from the spouse and biblically from the male point of view in a marriage, I'm supposed to provide for my wife. And that doesn't just mean financially, it means emotionally and spiritually and all that. And when you watch your spouse hurt on a daily basis and you can't do anything about it, that my job is to fix it. I'm supposed to take care of you. I'm supposed to make this better. And you can't. All you can do is love them. And that helps, but it doesn't make the situation any better.
Kate, did you wanna speak to that at all?
I'm thinking about the just that overculture again of body image in our
Mhm.
Western world and how much pressure
Yeah.
there is on perfection standards, airbrushed models that we see in magazines. Now we have AI. I'm like, I don't know. I saw a landscape image the other day and I was like, that's beautiful. Nature is gorgeous, but I don't know that it is like that gorgeous. That is not real. And so I'm thinking about that for you, Nicole. Just
Mhm.
I spent a lot of time training in the psychotherapy realm of eating disorder and body image, and so
Mhm.
I always have that lens even when I'm working with women who don't identify as having an eating disorder. I
Mhm.
think we all through an ancestral trauma perspective,
Mhm.
cultural trauma, we all have some body image stuff to work with, and
Mhm.
myself included, absolutely. So I'm hearing that, but I'm also just hearing that if we were all blind, if we didn't have clothes that fit tight or loose or whatever, there's an aspect of just not feeling good in your skin when
Mhm.
you're not
Amen.
Yeah.
if you're not in the body that is the healthiest shape and
Mhm.
form for you. And even if we could eradicate all of the external standards, there's an aspect of health and of size and shape that just feels like it houses vitality. It's a container for your soul. It is a place where you want to be. And when you're not in that body for whatever reason, whatever is going on, it does cause so much suffering. And
It really does, yes.
yeah, and there's a ripple effect, like BJ is saying, it hurts him to see you in pain, right? And you can't be
Yeah.
the mom that you probably wanna be. You probably can't connect with your community and your exterior friends and family members because you don't feel good inside of yourself. And so,
Mhm.
if there would be some magic way to wave a wand and just get rid of all of our beauty standards and
Mhm.
really just anchor into how do you feel in your own skin? I
Mhm.
hear that you're speaking to that as well of just I
Oh,
just
yeah.
wanna feel well and I wanna
Yeah.
feel alive. So
Yeah. And when you don't have the energy to go play with your kids like you want to, or even huge win, I go to the chiropractor now, and when he adjusts me, I don't ache in my muscles. Like, just carrying around, like, 30 extra pounds, like, what it does to your body and the energy it takes away from you, like, it's
Mhm.
awful, and I wish people could see that because I think people are so used to feeling bad that they don't realize they feel bad anymore.
right, you get
Yeah.
so used to your
Yep.
norm and your
Mhm.
status quo, especially when it's the type of progression that you've spoken about today, where it didn't all happen at once, it was over time, and it was just little things. And you don't often realize that you don't feel well because it's been so long since you've had the contrast of what
Mhm.
it does feel like to feel well that
Mm.
you just succumb to this as normal. And then you throw on top of that all of the different ways that in our current world we numb with our phones, with the media, with social media, with substances. People aren't really, they're not feeling that contrast of how
Mhm.
badly it really hurts
Yeah.
until they start to feel better. And
Yeah.
oftentimes in my practice, I'll see the opposite of this, where someone will be maybe on an antidepressant for a really long time and they're like, I don't think I need this anymore. I'm feeling pretty good. And so they just stop taking it. And they didn't realize how much it was helping them until they got rid of it. In that case, it's the opposite of what you're talking about, but there is such value in the contrast of what feels
Mhm.
good and what doesn't feel good. And bottling that, remembering it so that if you start to go down that slippery slope again, where it's just little things, you will have an aspect of yourself that's, ooh, I remember this. And I think I can
Mhm.
nip it now before it starts to become a landslide back to that territory where I know I didn't feel well.
Yeah.
And I wanna speak to this for a second too. I think it's also we just recorded a podcast just before this, and we were talking about just being, that quiet time. Everything is so busy. You're homeschooling. You really you're moving. You're constant go, 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 go. Church activities, sport activities, just constantly going. So it's really easy for these little things to creep up and not notice because you're constantly going.
Mhm.
And when we take that time, that downtime to just be a human being, not a human doing. I just love that.
Mhm.
Uh, that's when you start to see that contrast.
Mhm.
Something's not right. I'm
Mhm.
sitting here and something just I feel off. But how do you really recognize that when you're constantly interacting, constantly going, whether it's with other people, your phone, it makes no difference.
Mhm.
And I think you started to notice some of this stuff when you started taking your own time.
Mhm.
And I wrote down permission. It was like having permission. Why do we need permission to be who we are? But we have, whether it's through social media, family, churches, whatever, it's I'm expected to be this way. But really,
Mhm.
what really brings me joy? And I remember in the beginning when we started working together, I said, "What brings you joy?" And you're like, "Singing."
Mhm.
Okay, I didn't even know you were a singer. And here, I didn't even recognize that. Here's the email, Nicole Hope Music, and I'm like, "Oh my god!" And I said, "Girl, start singing again." But there was like you had lost for a while even that passion for something that made you feel so good.
Mhm.
And tell everybody, are you singing again now?
I am. Yes. In fact, I have several concerts this summer when we get to Colorado. So, yeah.
See?
Yeah.
Seeing her blossom literally has been this blossom. She texted me, I booked several gigs this summer. I'm like, oh my God, from this is yeah, I haven't sung in a while. It's just left me. And in our private client Facebook group, she had posted a video of she and her son singing on stage. I believe it was at church.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
Yep.
And it's fantastic. You just that again, that joy just you just it's radiant
Mhm.
that comes off of you. So many changes. What do you feel have been the most profound changes for you? Because it is a journey and you're still on this journey. We're
Mhm.
still tweaking some things. Now you
Yeah.
said to me today, I'm already hearing this. Now my allergies have flared up. Okay, we need to look at that. Because
Right.
what is causing that, right?
Mhm.
But what do you feel has been like the most profound changes for you overall in this journey?
I think, like you said, giving myself permission to sleep in. That's not being lazy. That's helping me have a better day. Exercising in the afternoon. Oh my gosh. Total game changer because I was getting up trying to work out at 7 a.m., absolutely miserable, didn't wanna do it, so I wouldn't do it, and then getting to work out in the afternoon, and he's great because if it's a weird day and I don't get to work out at 3 o'clock, he'll come home and I'll be like, "Hey, can you brown that meat on the stove real quick while I'm walking and lifting weights?" And he'll help me out that way. So, just little things like that when society is like, "Oh, you need to do CrossFit and you need to work out at 5 a.m. and you need to do this and that." And I'm like, "No, that's absolutely miserable. Why would I wanna do that?" Like him
Yeah.
getting up and running in the morning, I'm like, "You go have fun." Like,
Best
Yeah.
part of the
And
day.
by the way, so BJ, we figured out BJ's a crusader AF.
yeah, he just ran
He's
60 what miles? 60
58.
58, 58. He did a
just
12-hour
58.
race just for fun.
D- just for fun. Pen and I, much more fun. So very different health type. And
Mhm,
for those maybe new listeners, there's the 6 different health types they use in the PH360 program based on how you formed in the womb, the predominant hormones that drive you. So the diplomat, as Nichole is, these are the biggest non-responders to any, especially exercise program, typically because it's high intensity in the morning. And this is a body that is not really meant to tolerate the stress early in the day. It tanks them for the rest of the day. Every Diplo, majority, I don't know if I've come across one yet that says, "Hey, I work out in the morning and I'm not tanked in the afternoon." And they think it's just because they've had a busy day. But you change that harder workout to an afternoon, better results, energy throughout the day.
mm,
That's what this body craves. And doesn't need to have breakfast if you don't want it. And that's another one where people are like, "Oh my God, it feels so good to not feel like I have to get up and eat." You don't want to get up and eat right away. You want to just move a little bit, but have a nice slow start to your day. And I think that's especially for family moms is the hardest to give yourself permission to have that slower start to your day. But yet it makes you so much more present
mhm,
for everybody and everything else, including yourself, the rest of the day,
mhm,
just by taking that slower start to your day. So those are just a few things that touch on with the diplomat body. With the crusader, as BJ is very much morning, very much your triathletes, your endurance athletes, gets them out of their head because it's a very, very active brain that doesn't like to shut off. And so it's, I'm just going to go and driven by dopamine to just hit that goal. So 58 miles, 12 hours on it, blinders go on. Nicole's, I'm going to be chill. I'm driven by serotonin, comfort. There you go. So we got dopamine here, comfort here, right? Uh,
mhm,
but look at the teamwork between the two because
mhm,
he's all about like efficiency, getting things done. He can step in and take over and help you
mhm,
and where you can be more comfortable throughout the day, which is going to help you be more productive and hit the goals that you want to hit. And you're doing them, but just in a more chill manner than
mhm,
than him. So that teamwork where you can, but you both have a great ability to plan.
mhm.
You can plan out how this is going to go, and then you put it all together.
See, and I make sure he eats because
Yeah.
Yeah,
part of being a
he'll
crusader,
forget.
he gets so focused, he won't eat.
He won't eat. Nope. So he's the one that needs to be eating every few hours, every
Right.
few hours there to keep fueling this body to give the power to work that. But
Pretty sure our
I just
7-year-old is one too. Yeah.
go
I
figure.
have a question for you guys. With having different health types in the same household
Mhm,
and So Susan ran me through her program as well so that I could speak on the podcast about what it's like and how this stuff really works. I know a little bit. I'm still learning.
Ah,
In your household, how do you do this, like, in your fridge? Because I know that certain foods that might be really good for you might be really not so good for you, and others that you're gravitating towards might be really detrimental for the other people in the house, and so do you have compartments of your fridge where it's, "This is Nicole's stuff, this is BJ's stuff, I can eat this," or, like, how do you make your meals so that everyone is getting the food that they need, or is it not so much of a concern? I'm curious how you integrate this into reality with a family.
Great
I
question.
don't I don't think it's that really big of a deal.
no.
If we have a meal, like, maybe she'll fix a piece of fish rather than whatever main dish we're having. So occasionally she might do something a little extra, or it might just be having a salad on the side or just little changes like that, and
One day I made pork, and so I cooked myself fish. They ate the pork. Or, like, I'll make black beans to go with theirs while I have a big salad too, because I try not to do any carbs at nighttime, which is hard sometimes, but little things like that, the kids, they have their snacks that they know to eat, which my 7-year-old, he'd live off fruit if we let him. He's not a big protein eater. I think my 10-year-old is like me. She's a little night owl, and she just slower mornings, just doing her thing. So we're trying to navigate that a little bit. Overall, I make everybody eat the same thing. Like
Yeah, which just sounds like little
Mhm.
options where things can deviate. I
yeah.
I've learned that I'm an activator like Susan. Susan and I are actually the same number activator, which is
Yep.
very interesting because we actually show up very differently, as you probably can just feel from this interview. She's the bull in the china shop and I'm the china is our joke. So, but we're still the same body type, and something that was really interesting as I've been working through my PH 360 profile is lentils were like a top food for me, which I was eating maybe, I don't know, once or twice a month, hardly
Mhm.
ever. I don't really like them that much. And then I started looking for some creative things to do with lentils, and I learned how to do a breakfast porridge with lentils that tastes a lot like oatmeal, but has that protein and fiber and all those good things. And my husband, who I think is a crusader, he is not into the lentil porridge. He really doesn't like it at all. And I'm like, "This is delicious. What a great I don't really like breakfast, but now I look forward to this, and I feel like I'm loving my body by eating this." And he's just, "I'm gonna go with some yogurt and granola. See you later." And it's great because we have these options now in our fridge where we can each kind of get what we need, and we don't have to eat the same food, but it also isn't really that it's not that taxing. We just throw some yogurt in the grocery cart for him, and it's easy.
Yeah.
So, I think it is workable with a family. I do think it also does take a little bit of brain power maybe in the beginning to engineer your meals and to say,
Mhm.
"Okay, so if you're gonna be more fish focused, you just have some of those fillets in the freezer that you can throw on the grill next to the pork," right?
Mhm.
A little bit more thoughtfulness than it might be to be like, "We're gonna have one big rack of whatever
Right.
for the whole
Yeah.
family."
Yeah. Yeah. I think a couple things there. I think that we were brought up thinking everybody eats dinner and everybody eats the same thing, right? If you were like my family was, you don't want what we're eating, you can go to bed. You go
Mhm.
upstairs if you don't. Because I was actually, believe it or not, a picky eater when I was little, and so you have that spot. So it's like I feel like a pain in the butt that I'm not going to eat. I should be able to eat what everybody else is eating and not be the problem child.
Mhm.
And I don't mean as children. I'm talking as adults here. And so I think it's that mindset you have to get out of first that I'm just eating something different, but yet we're still sitting down and sharing a meal together.
Mhm.
That's what it's about, is that part of the connection. What you're eating doesn't really matter. Some people don't want to be making a bunch of different meals. You can make something and then prep some stuff for yourself ahead of time. Pull out that piece of fish when they're having the pork, but you can all eat the same veggies,
Mhm.
right? So you look for the things that are similar, and or it might be I'm not gonna have maybe I'm gonna do the black beans as my protein at night, that they're eating as a side, but that's going to be my main protein. So you're
Mhm.
still cooking the same thing there. So there's ways you can get around that, but I think it's the mindset around now I'm going to be different,
Mhm.
and it's just going to be a pain. But why aren't we all just eating what we want to eat?
Mhm.
Because we are also very different in what we like. And I just have seen so many clients that and it's typically the wife doing what the husband does,
Yeah.
sharing his hours, sharing
Mhm.
his foods,
Yeah.
and saying, but this is if he wants to go to bed so early and I'm a night owl, I won't get to see him. We'll go crawl in bed with him for a while, wink, wink. You can always uncrawl out and go read a little bit if you're not ready to go to sleep. So again, it's this black and white thinking about how we're supposed to do things, as
Mhm.
opposed to we're two individuals that have chosen to share our life. I just might eat a little bit differently. I'm single. If you think I'm going to find a dude out there that's going to eat the same way I do, it ain't going to happen. So I just have to resolve myself to the fact that if they can't handle me eating some things differently, then it's not a match, right? You just have to be confident with who you are, the hours that you're going to keep that feel best to you. Okay, it's not a cat, it's a child.
Hey, buddy.
Hi. Hey, little guy.
Too cute.
Hi.
Just part of the bunch, the healthy bunch.
Mhm. Mhm.
That's Finn, right?
Finnegan. Yeah.
Finnegan. Yep. And so Finnegan, you want to say hi?
Hi.
There's a healthy family. But that's what I think it's really about is just embracing who you are, regardless of your health type, regardless of the relationship. And that's the beauty of the PH 360 is when I love working with couples, when you understand how each of you is created and what drives you.
Mhm.
Like Nicole's not going to say, BJ, you want to come for just a nice chill walk? And be like, no, I'm gonna go for my run in the morning. I'll take care of the kids, right? Now they might want some for together time,
Mhm.
but just embracing that, like she supports him getting up at 5 a.m. to go work out. You go do what you do because that's you. And that brings you joy and that brings you peace and allows you to have a nice, clear mind to be there for me later in the
Mhm.
day too, and the kids. So
Mhm.
when we understand, and like I said, I love working with couples. I have never seen a couple I've worked with pull apart. It's always coming closer together out of an understanding that it really is my biology that drives me this way. It's not a personality type, it's my biology
Mhm.
that drives me. And that understanding that you can now make light of that I am a bull in a china shop. It's okay. Like I laugh about it. And you stop getting in your own head and punishing yourself for being who you are, for wanting to sleep in, for wanting to get up super early, and embracing that and loving that part of yourself that we tend to fight against when it's different than someone else that we're with.
Mhm.
And it can bring you closer as opposed to pulling you apart because you're like, they're so annoying. They want to sleep in when I want to get up and be doing. But look at the two of you and you see how it works when you understand. And
There's
I think that's just such a big takeaway. Not just and that's why I wanted to focus on that and not just about the weight, but 30 pounds off of someone who couldn't lose a damn pound and was told, go on Ozempic, don't get me started.
I told him, I joke. I said, I could look at spinach and gain 10 pounds. That's how bad it was. Like, it was, I would come home from Colorado every summer and wouldn't even change how I ate. I wasn't eating necessarily bad food, but I'd gained 10 pounds. Like, for the last 3, 4 years. I'm like, what is this business?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And you've
stressful.
been able to eat things that you were afraid to eat. Lots of there's the cat. Veggies and fruits that you were
Mhm.
afraid to eat, that your
Mhm.
body needed those nutrients so desperately.
Mhm.
And bringing that in with the other aspects of the lifestyle and the environment, just a game change in
Mhm.
life.
Oh, yeah.
Kate's gonna have a question for you, and I think Kate, you should ask it of both of them. as we wrap up here.
Okay,
So we're
got
gonna
it.
ask the question and then we'll thank you for being on. So we ask it of everybody, so we're not picking on you.
Yeah, so this is a question that Susan and I devised because my work is the Radiant Life Project. Susan's work is epigenetics. And so we talk about cultivating a radiant life through epigenetics, through your lifestyle and your behaviors and your choices and what you do and the ins and outs of your day. So, would you please answer each of you for us? What are you doing today in this moment that is cultivating a radiant life through epigenetics for you?
I think for me, it's making sure as we're preparing to go on vacation that I'm still eating like I need to. VBS had us all over the map. And I told him, I said, I could tell a difference. I wasn't getting to work out. I wasn't getting to eat when I needed to eat. And I wasn't getting to eat the right food. And I could tell that week. I told him, I said, I feel like a little sausage. Like my fingers are swollen. I'm feeling tired. And just making sure, like today for lunch, I eat my fish and I eat a big load of vegetables instead of an easy crab like the kids would get.
For me, I think it's listening to her, and she keeps me on track and kinda knows what I need to be because I just do get so focused on things that I won't eat, or it won't be very healthy because I'll grab something and then I'll go right back to what I'm doing. We've got all these little projects that have to get done before we can leave town, and she's kind of my brakes sometime, and she slows me down and just makes sure I need to be where I need to be, and so I think that's what I can do the best epigenetically is just make sure I stop and take care of myself, and be it with meals or with rest, make sure I sleep at night, those kind of things, because I do have a tendency to just go until I crash, till I burn out.
Said every crusader on the
Yeah.
planet.
You two, you're really a beautiful example of what I like to teach in my work of aligned relationships. Like finding alignment. It doesn't mean that you're the same. It means that you fit, that it's puzzle
Yeah.
pieces.
Mhm.
Like you fill in each other's gaps and you support each other in ways that you need and you don't dominate, right? There's like a push pull give take. I see a lot of reciprocity as you're sitting and talking to each other. So thank you for modeling that for us and for all of our viewers and listeners because aligned relationships are so crucial. When we have healthy relationships, then we can plug into the collective from a place of being supported and nourished and resourced, and I think that's how we make a better world and how we make change. So thank you for modeling that for us.
You're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I
Our
knew
goal
you would pick.
we're just
Go
gonna
ahead.
make people sick. They look at us and they gag, and they just you know, that's us.
No,
We're
but
just
you give me hope.
yeah, well, we
I already
should.
asked them in the beginning. I'm like, "Do you have a brother? Do you have a single brother?" I mean, come on.
You do love
Some
a good
people are
crusader, right? Susan, aren't crusaders your type?
I attract them like flypaper, but they don't tend to work well with me. Alright, we don't tend to mesh for long, let's put it that way. Yeah, good catch, Kate. So Kate's gonna be my protector of, "Yeah, don't go there." But I think if you have now there's a difference. Most crusade look at how tuned in he is
Mhm.
and grounded.
Yeah.
And when you think of crusaders, a lot of them CEOs, high profile, engineers, everything is just future focus, and not tuned into that. I need to slow down. I'm grounded spiritually. You don't find a whole lot like that. So the ones that are, I found, are true gems. He's done the work, and there. This is not. It's not his first marriage. This is a second. Because also, I
Yeah.
think with the math, when you're saying you guys have been together 12 years, but you have a 25-year-old, I just wanted to be like, yeah, wait a sec.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
That would be a trick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
his first wife passed away from breast cancer. So,
Yeah. And then lost
so
our daughter about 8 years ago, so we've had a lot of junk that we've been through,
mhm.
and that stress alone, it's tough on a marriage,
Yeah.
it's tough on individuals,
Mhm.
and just it can just wreck a person, but we get through that stuff together, and I think I finally realized that, as a couple, she's a feeler, I'm a thinker, And I have to realize that when she says, "This makes me feel something," that's legitimate. I just think, I feel hungry or I feel tired." But she has these big feelings about things, and for me, I wanna see the facts. I wanna know the start time, I know when we gotta be there, and it's black and white, and we just go. But then I gotta realize also that with all the junk we've been through, that tomorrow's promised to nobody.
Mhm.
So, our choices we make today, just make sure we can enjoy tomorrow when it gets here.
Mhm.
And that's what we've gotta get to.
So much
You
with
just said, I'm like all teared up. It's you're just such a beautiful example, and you give those of us that are out here still looking such hope that there are still people that get it. And it doesn't, no matter what you've been through, again, when you have somebody that you rock and you go through together, it doesn't always have to pull you apart. You see it pull people apart. But you guys are such a prime example of how it can make you stronger when you can really rely on each other and it's not a competition.
Yeah.
And I think BJ, probably the best thing for you is like when you realize that you just need to be a little bit of a sounding board and be there to hold her, and you don't have to fix everything.
Yes. Yep. I had to get to that point and realize that because for a long time I wanted to. And you realize sometimes life just stinks and you can't do anything about it.
Mhm.
And I just have to listen to her feelings and her ups and downs and love her through it.
Mhm.
And realize that the world doesn't care. And good or bad, it's gonna keep spinning and doing its thing, and so we just gotta be there for each other and pull each other up, and the sun's gonna come up again tomorrow, and we're just gonna love each other and everybody else, and hopefully help everybody get feeling better because 'cause we're killing it.
you
Well,
are.
I am so grateful to be a part of your journey, and I'm so excited that you're gonna be coming through Colorado, and we're gonna meet in person, and
Yes.
I'm so just so very grateful, and we're so grateful that you shared your story and have been so open, and just thank you so much for coming on and sharing. It was I knew it was gonna be good when I asked. You were like, "Yes, right away, I wanna come on." But I know it would really even turn out this good. And BJ, for you to be so open and vulnerable on air too, I salute you for that. So the two of you, thank you for sharing your lives with us today. And I think you're really going to open the eyes for a lot of people out there.
All right.
You're welcome.
Anything else with you, Kate?
Just feeling gratitude also for the modeling and for the vulnerability today and the honesty. So thank you. And I feel privileged to have met you.
Oh, it's nice to meet you too.
Yes.
So please share this, everybody, that the journey is a journey to behold. It's your journey. Be you. Be your most authentic selves. Thank you so much for joining us. Go out, make it a great day. Thank you so much for tuning into our podcast.
If you enjoyed this week's episode, we'd love for you to share it, leave a review or comment, and subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts. Help us get this information out to everyone who could benefit, and we'll keep bringing you the content you crave.
You can also check out our podcast site at everydayepigenetics.co and sign up for our newsletter to stay updated on upcoming episodes. The link is in the show notes.
If you're interested in DNA or epigenetic coaching with Susan, or Radiant Life Coaching for deep inner work with Kate, our contact info is in the show notes below.
Now go and make it a great day and let your most authentic self shine.